Hi everyone. Many thanks for joining us today. We are going to be having an interactive section with the University of Western London, the Career University. We're going to be learning more about their programs. We're going to be checking for facts and figures, ranking, and every other thing we should know about studying in the University of West London. So joining us today from the University of West London is Nick Miller, who is a representative of University of West London. Okay, during his session, we'll be having a question and answer where all your questions will be answered. And if you have any questions, please kindly drop them in the chat box, and I'll be reading it out to Nick, and then he'll be answering all your questions. So I hope we all have a great time, and I'll be handing over now to Nick to take us on this interactive section. Hi Nick, can you hear me?
And hello, yes, I can hear you, but I cannot start my video yet. I'll start my video right now. Oh. Hello, good, here we are. Thank you very much, Gloria. And thank you to all of my good associates over at SI UK who are fantastic support to University of West London. Okay, so I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Nick Miller. I'm the Senior International Officer at University of West London. And on the call today, I've got a couple of colleagues with me. I've got David Reyes, who is one of my colleagues helping with applications in the international office. And one of our newest members of the team, Kemisola, who is our local representative based in Lagos. And so she's just been with us for about a month now and is doing a fantastic job, and she'll be your support day to day as the kind of the interim, if you like, between your agent support at SI UK and the University of West London. But of course, I'm always on hand to support you as well. Kemisola, do you want to just say a few words to introduce yourself?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, my name is Kemisola Adewolu, and I'm the local representative, like Nick said. And if you have any other question after this Q&A session or this presentation, I'll drop my contact in the chat box, then you can reach out to me later. Thank you.
Thank you, Kemisola. I appreciate that. We have one other special guest as well, who's with us today. And her name is Uju, and she's a recent student who's arrived at UWL, who's studying an MSc in Applied Project Management. So I'll introduce Uju a little bit later, but from now I'll commence the presentation, and I'll run through a brief slideshow with you. So please keep all your questions until the end, and we can address each one in good time at the end. So I'm going to share my screen now and just bring up a presentation. I hope you can all see it.
We want to give you really
Apologies. Okay, so apologies. Let me just start from the very, very beginning of this presentation. Okay, so University of West London is known as the Career University, and there's a very simple reason behind that. It goes with our location as being in the capital of the UK. There are lots of employers based in and around the university area. So as a consequence, as an institution, we like to offer courses which are very reflective of the skills that are needed in the workplace. Our location is in the west part of London. So if any of you have ever traveled to the UK before, you would have probably flown into Heathrow Airport. Heathrow is just 20 minutes away on the London Underground. So our nearest station is South Ealing, or you can also get on the tube at Ealing Broadway. So we're very well connected to airport and also to central London. If you want to hop over to Buckingham Palace or Big Ben or all of the kind of the iconic sort of London landmarks or the central shopping area like Oxford Street, Piccadilly Circus. That's around like 20-25 minutes on the tube as well in the other direction. So it's really well serviced. So as a university, we've got a number of buildings really, but the main campus is located in an area called Ealing. And we call this St. Mary's Road. And this building has been a centre of education for well over 100 years. Initially, it started as a school, and then over time, it evolved into an arts college. Ealing College of Arts was very famous in the 1960s in the UK. And then up to the 90s, it became Thames Valley University, and we evolved into our present name, University of West London, in the early 2000s. So the University of West London is accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is a photo that I took very late at night when I was going in there to collect some belongings before I went to the airport. So it's really accessible building. It's a very comfortable space, and you'll bump into lots of your colleagues and your lecturers in there. It's very open and communal. We have other buildings dotted around the area in Ealing. This is one of them, for example, Century House. We also have another school for nursing and midwifery in Reading. We recently acquired Ruskin College in Oxford. So as a university, we're very much growing, we're expanding all of the time. This is our other main building. This is called Paragon. Paragon is located in Brentford, which is just a little bit closer to the airport, in fact. And here we're running a lot of our business-related programs and our health, nursing, and midwifery. It's essentially an 11-story office building, but on the top floors, we've actually got like simulation centers, which are replicas of UK hospitals. And so we have like a hospital ward up there, and fantastic views over the skyline of central London. So some courses are based in either of those campuses, or the courses might run between them. So we have a shuttle bus that goes every 20 minutes. It takes roughly 10 to 15 minutes to get between the two campuses. It's free to use. It's very, very convenient. But the main area around Ealing, it's a destination for shopping, leisure, and there's plenty of things to do. What I really like about it is it's got quite a residential feel to it. So it's a bit more laid back and a bit quieter than some of the more central parts of London. So the traffic levels are pretty low. And you can walk everywhere. You don't have to rely on public transport so much. Lots of shopping, lots of restaurants, cafes, bars, whatever you're looking for, cinema, it's all there. The great thing about West London and where we're located is, we're in close proximity to some of the world's biggest companies. So this again reflects our institution as being like the career university and emphasizing our links to industry and employment opportunities. So just within a stone's throw, you've got Coca-Cola, Disney, Cisco Systems, Sky, Diageo. They're all close by, and we work very closely with a lot of these companies in terms of providing careers, advice and support for our students, presenting some of our students' work to these employers, and trying to get really good graduate employability outcomes. So inside the campus, you can see it's a very modern design. It's a very comfortable environment to be a student. And we invested £150 million in the campus around 5-6 years ago. So what you're getting is state-of-the-art facilities. As I mentioned, it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And on campus, we've also got lots of facilities like cafes, restaurants, whatever you need. Like there's a small shop there as well if you want to buy any kind of stationery, etc. It's all there. And also, we have a really terrific library over 3 floors. One of the areas is kind of a silent study area. And then there's other parts of it which is set up for sort of collaborative study. with other students. We've got lots of facts and achievements to celebrate at UWL. I think that the best one really is the fact that we were voted recently as the #1 university in the UK for student satisfaction. Our students are home, our university is home to the nation's most contented students. We're really good at having our students' voice represented and providing really robust academic support. So we're really proud of that. And as a consequence, we've risen in the rankings this year. So in the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide, we're now ranked 30 out of 121 universities, and we're 23rd in The Guardian. We're investing a lot in our kind of research excellence framework. So that will push our rankings up in the future as well. So the best aspect, I think, is just the job opportunities, really. The 98% of our graduates are within employment within the first 6 months, which is really impressive. We've got a very diverse student body. There are approximately 17,000 students at any given time. 18% are international. We've got 100 nationalities. And if you think about students coming, say, this September, you're probably looking at around 1,500 new international students who are feeding in to students who are already studying on their course there. We've got a couple of other features that I'd like to mention. We've got a really good enterprise hub there, again, emphasizing our links to industry. So we develop a lot of business projects with small and medium-sized enterprises, as well as some startup ideas from within our student body. We've got a really good students union offering lots of activities and events throughout the year, student societies as well that you can get involved with. And our School of Computing and Engineering work very closely with Amazon Web Services, which is quite a unique aspect of what we offer. We've got some impressive alumni as well, particularly from the world of entertainment and culinary arts. There's some examples there. You can see our current Foreign Secretary, James Cleverly. He's a graduate of UWL. As you can see, you've got the state governor for Zamfara State. I don't know whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, but he's a good guy in my books because he's a graduate of UWL. Here's some of our most well-known graduates. You've got Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones. You've got Alex da Kid, who's a very famous music producer, worked with Rihanna and Eminem. Mac Tong from Block Party, Pete Townsend from The Who, and of course, Freddie Mercury, the lead singer from Queen, who was a student with us. The London College of Music has made us very, very famous. If you're taking any kind of musical instrument as an exam, one of the most famous exam boards is the LCM exam board. So because of that, we've developed quite an impressive range of music-related courses, hence, our fantastic alumni. So apart from the music department, we've got some other great faculties where we've got some great strengths. I mentioned about our School of Nursing and Midwifery and Healthcare. I find in Nigeria, there's a lot of interest in our master's program in public health. So we welcome applications for that program. With nursing in the UK, it's kind of a difficult area to break into because a lot of the training is done on the job in UK hospitals. So traditionally, it's very hard for international students on visas to access those courses. However, launching in September, we are starting an MSc in nursing with pre-registration. So we're incredibly proud of this. It's a 2-year master's program, but it will essentially mean that you're going to be qualified. You can qualify as a nurse in the UK. And that will create so many fantastic job opportunities for you, not only within the National Health Service in the UK, but around the world. Within the School of Computing and Engineering, we have a couple of courses which are very popular in Nigeria: artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. They're very strong fields. If you're doing cybersecurity, it's really good to study that subject in London because you're surrounded by all of these international banking institutions. There's a lot of cybersecurity activity in London. So it's a great place to be to access that kind of network. In the School of Film, Media and Design, we do a lot of things around sort of graphic design, visual effects, advertising and branding. We do fashion and textiles at undergraduate level, but at postgraduate level, it's more fashion related to like fashion branding, fashion marketing, luxury brand management, those kinds of things. We've got an extensive range of subjects available in that school. We have law. At postgraduate level, you can specialize in intellectual property, commercial law, financial law. In the School of Human and Social Sciences, we're very strong on things like human resource management, psychology. We also do like things like criminology. And we also do a lot of work with the Metropolitan Police in London. We do a lot of police training. So we do things like addiction studies, criminology, criminal psychology. These are really cutting edge subjects for the police to develop the skills. Okay, so hospitality and tourism. This is a big area for us. Because of our proximity to Heathrow Airport, we run a lot of courses related to airport management. We do things like pilot training. We have our own flight simulator on campus at the university. So we train British Airways pilots, Wizz Air, which is kind of a low-cost carrier, and more to do with the kind of the facilities management within airports. So recently, when I flew over to Nigeria, I checked in at the Virgin Atlantic check-in desk, put my luggage in there, and I had a UWL logo on my exhibition banner. And the girl who checked me in said, "Oh, I went there." So it's just really nice to see somebody who, you know, not only graduated from our university, but got a job within their field and ended up serving me at the check-in desk. So that was a really nice moment to see. In our business school, we have an MBA program, and we do things like digital marketing. We do a lot of business entrepreneurship subjects there, as well as finance and accounting. So moving on, I'll just show you a couple of images of some of our facilities. So our health care, nursing, midwifery. You have state-of-the-art equipment in there, fashion and textiles. Here's some of our music students doing electronic music production. This is an example of a student we had recently, Alex, a Serbian student who's done graphic design. In his final year project, he caught the attention of a major advertising agency who gave him some work, working on localization campaigns for Absolut Vodka. Off the back of that, he's now set up his own agency in Oslo in Norway, and he's running all the design for Foodora, which is the #1 food delivery service in Scandinavia. So he's a recent success story that we've had. The Enterprise Hub, we develop a lot of products there, and also business services that sort of innovated by our students and the local community. We do a lot around like food product development as well. So here are some of the brands that UWL have developed. So you've got Push Chocolate, which is a well-known vegan chocolate brand. And we've got something called Eat Grub, which is essentially insects. It's like crickets, which are really popular to eat and high in protein. And we coat them in sweet chili and lime and piri-piri, and you can buy those in UK supermarkets. But so I just wanted to give you that as an example of some of the activities that we do at the university to show how entrepreneurial we are. So when you're not studying with us, we've got various clubs and societies that you can get involved with. We have a sports centre with a fully equipped gym, 2 fitness studios, and there's whatever you're interested in, you're welcome to be involved. We even have our own Nigerian society at University of West London, and they're desperate for more members. So if you come and join us, please sign up. The great thing about the Nigerian society is that they're your network really for not just social events, but they can help with things like job opportunities, finding accommodation. You know, please, I encourage you to use the Niger Network, the diaspora of Nigerians in the UK, to give you that support when you come to UWL. So if you're looking to study with us, we have a number of accommodation options available. Most students end up staying within sort of a 20-minute radius of the university campus. So we have different styles of accommodation that we can give you support in finding. The great thing about finding accommodation through the university is that you don't have any kind of deposits. All the utility bills are included, and you've got 24-hour support if there's any problems. If your electricity goes out, then you can just call a number and somebody will be there to help you. Here's some examples of some of our accommodation buildings. If you're on a course for more than a year, I would encourage you to maybe take UWL's accommodation in the first year, and then you're going to make friends when you're on campus and make your own arrangements to find something private. You might prefer to do that. So my advice is don't like lock yourself in long term to student accommodation. Give yourself flexibility where you can. And we've got a really good support with careers and volunteering, as I mentioned. When I was in the university last week, I was there and there was a hive of activity in the central area because there was a conference for health and biomedical sciences. There was a careers fair happening. So we've always got something going on the campus where you can meet potential employers and get support and advice in finding a job. As you're probably already aware, if you become a student in the UK, you're allowed to work part-time during your studies. So you can work 20 hours a week, and outside of term time, you're allowed to work full-time, which is a great opportunity to earn some extra income to support your course fees or your living costs. One of the things you can't do when you're studying and working is you can't be self-employed. So you can't work for yourself or run a business remotely. You have to be employed on a part-time contract. So when you've graduated in the UK at UWL, one of the benefits of choosing the UK as a destination is that you can stay on what's called the graduate route visa, and you can stay for up to 2 years and work full-time, gain experience. But it's really crucial that you emphasize that you're going to be returning home to your country after those 2 years. That's what the UK government want to hear. But the reality is, if you get very specialized in your field and you make yourself indispensable with an employer, there is a possibility that you could get sponsored by your employer. So, this is a great chance for you to get a qualification, get some work experience and some new skills, and open up doors for your future career. Okay, so maybe at this point, we're going to talk about the application process, what UWL are looking for in Nigerian students. And maybe I might ask my colleague, Kemisola, to chip in at this point. But before I do that, I'll just run over the course fees initially, and then I'll hand over to Kemisola. So the course fees at UWL are $14,250 per year for undergraduate, $14,750 a year for postgraduate, and our MBA and our new MSc in nursing is £16,000. Now, as far as university course fees go, we're actually quite competitive. London is an expensive destination to study. So if you think about this in terms of the lower course fees that we offer, sort of complements the higher living costs. So on balance, we're pretty similar to other UK institutions. So if you were going up studying at Leeds, the living costs might be lower, but the course fees might be higher. So it's in our ethos really as a university to make UWL as accessible and as cost-effective as possible. The other course fees, they're below the extended and the enhanced extended. Those courses are like pre-masters. These programs are really designed for students who are either have third-class degrees or have an ordinary class degree, and they can't access the main master's program. So we offer them an extended program, so they'll come in September and feed into the January intake. Kemisola, is there anything you want to add? Maybe we can talk about scholarships in a little while. No doubt people will ask questions about that, but perhaps we could run through the finances and the entry requirements. Are you happy to talk, Kemi? Kemisola. Okay. Okay, Kemisola is not with us. Oh, here she is.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello. Do you want to just talk about the entry
Yes,
requirements
sorry,
and
I can hear
finance?
you, just that I was unable to unmute. Okay, so well, nothing for now. You said, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Hello, Nick, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, yes.
Okay, all right. I said, yeah, you said almost everything, but why don't you take on the finance while I talk about the what is needed for Nigeria later on when you're done.
Okay, so with finance, one of the requirements that we have at UWL is quite a high deposit. Our deposit for Nigeria is £10,000. So when you consider that the course fees are £14,000 to 14,750 or whatever, it's the majority of the course fees. The reason we ask for so much is because we don't want you to come to the university and struggle financially while you're here with us. You know, we want to make sure that you're fully committed to the program, and we don't have to have a difficult situation where we have to cancel your visa or send you home. You know, you've got to think about this very, very seriously. It's a huge investment studying in the UK. If you can and you have the finances to do this, I would encourage you to pay all of your course fees in one go. The reason for doing that is because you can receive a 5% discount. So it's very advantageous doing that. Now, one of the problems we have for payments from Nigeria is Form A. So obviously it's more beneficial to transfer money with Form A. But the problem is it takes so long for the funds to come through. I had a couple of students where it took like 2-3 months to come through. And that's fine if there's sufficient time to wait. But if you're applying late and you're transferring fees around August time, you know, there's a risk that the funds aren't going to arrive in time and you're not going to secure the place on your course. So please be aware of that. Consider other alternative methods like Flywire. There are other ways you can transfer money. If you have friends or relatives already in the UK, consider doing Form A to them and getting them to pay us locally. Try and be creative in arranging the funds, because we're not able to really progress into the visa stage until we've received your deposit. Okay, Kemi, you want to talk about through the entry requirements now? Okay. Perhaps I'll do that for you then on your behalf. So my advice is apply early, ideally before June. This will give you adequate time to prepare your documents in order to arrive in September. So you have to meet all the conditions of the course entry requirements. So with things like English, so for English level, we accept WIAC. As long as you've got C6 at WIAC, that is adequate to meet the English language entry requirements. So there's no need for you to take an IELTS exam. For some of the courses that we offer at master's level, we will require you to have a bachelor's degree with honours. So we do not accept students who have an HND who want to do masters. This is a very common issue that we face. So my advice, if you have an HND and you want to come to the UK and do a masters, try and top up your HND in Nigeria. It makes more economic sense to do that. And when you have a bachelor's degree with honours, then you can come to us for a degree. And like I mentioned earlier, if your degree is from, say, the Benin Republic and it comes up as an ordinary degree, then you will be required to do like a pre-master's program, an extended an extended master's with us. Some of the other conditions that we require is a couple of references. So we want one academic reference and one professional reference from your workplace. And we need a copy of passports, and we need all of your academic transcripts. And make sure we have your degree certificate as well as the transcripts, and make sure that the copies are really clear. So when you apply, you can apply through the website, or ideally with the support of SI UK, and they can apply on your behalf. And then you upload all of your documents onto our portal, and then you can access it, we can access it, SI UK can access it, and so we can review your application and see the status of it. The benefits of working with SI UK is you're going to get a lot of support with the visa application process, because in order to apply for a visa in the UK, you have to prepare bank statements and have the necessary funds in your accounts for the duration of your course, and it has to be in your account for 28 days. So it's vitally important that you know what you're doing. It's so easy to make a simple error in the visa application form online, and you don't want to basically risk that happening and delaying the start of your course. Other additional compliance considerations would be, have a look at whether you're bringing dependents with you. It's very common if you're a master's student to bring your spouse or your children with you. That's absolutely fine, but you've got to make sure that you've got a plan in place to support them financially, to be able to sponsor them with their visa with yourself. Please let us know if you've applied previously to the UK and you've had past visa rejections. You know, as a university, we're very strict about this, and we do reject student applications if they've had past visa rejections. So try and be transparent with us. One of the other important areas is study gaps. I know it's very common, particularly for master's students, to have quite a large gap between their undergraduate degree and their master's, to perhaps work full time, save money, have a family, etc. You know, we're all living our lives. So it's really important that you submit a comprehensive CV and account for any gaps in your studies. And once you've been offered your place, you've paid your deposits, and you're at the stage where you're going to apply for the visa, we will issue with what's called a CAS document, a certificate of acceptance of studies. Now, at this stage, we will conduct an interview with you, and this is a mock interview, as if the UK VI, UK Border Force, are asking you questions about why you're coming to the UK. So I conduct these myself. I interview lots and lots of students, and it's vitally important that you know the course that you're coming from. It often surprises me that the students who are applying for a master's degree don't even really properly know the individual modules on their course and can talk about them and articulate clearly why they want to study in the UK. So you need to practice and rehearse this and get comfortable. I will help you and give you feedback before, but when we do the CAS credibility interview, it's a serious interview. It's a mock interview that you might face with the UK VI if they decide to choose your case. And we've had students in the past who have received their visa, arrived at the airport, were questioned at the border, and they weren't able to answer the right questions, and they were refused entry to the UK. So even if you have your visa, there's no guarantee. That doesn't happen very often, so don't get scared, but just be fully aware that you need to be prepared. So at that point, what I'd like to do is just show you a quick video about employability.
And you probably noticed that from day one, there is a lot of focus on your career. But then we are the Career University. Every year, the university works with over 6,000 businesses to make sure that you're learning the skills and knowledge employers are looking for. This means three things. It means that what you learn in your course will be relevant to the industry you want to work in, because our courses are shaped by people who are looking to recruit the best graduate talent. It means that campus is jam-packed, full of industry-standard facilities that help you develop your skills in a professional environment. And finally, It means there will be plenty of opportunities for you to hear from experts and connect to professionals who don't just work in the industry, but they know it inside out. When you come to UWL, you're not just coming for a degree. You are coming to get a career that you can be proud of. From the day you start, a careers team will be there to take you through steps needed in order for you to secure a successful and rewarding career when you graduate.
Okay, so that student was Caleb, and Caleb is currently with us doing digital marketing, and he actually managed to get employment with our marketing team at UWL, a paid job in our marketing departments alongside his studies. So he's a really good example of one of our success stories. So at this point, really, I'd like to introduce you to one of our other students. Uju, are you available to just come on the chat and just say a few words, introduce yourself, and tell us maybe why you decided to come to the UK, why did you choose UWL, and what your experience has been like so far. Is that possible? Uju, are you
yes,
there?
I
Great.
think so. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, so I should mention before Uju speaks that I met Uju in Lagos, and we've been meaning to catch up since she's been in London. So I've not coached her, I've not spoken to her about this presentation today. So, you know, please tell everyone here, warts and all, about your experience, Uju. The good things, the bad things, the challenges that you faced so far, and what advice you would give to any students choosing us.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Uju Uzwanne. Some people call me Jane here, for those who cannot pronounce my name properly. So maybe I'll start from the beginning. I hadn't really formed, any expectations prior to my arrival here because of the hiccups I had in my application process. So I had applied independently. I didn't go through SI UK or UKEAS. And, I thought, it would be a seamless process, but it wasn't until I had my precast interview. And then from then on, when Nick came on board and also Kemisola, everything went smoothly after then. What happened was that Kemisola, helped me with my visa application. And I tell you that my visa application, I submitted it first week in December of 2022. I received my visa under 15 working days. And so I think it was after 10 working days or so that I received my visa. And so, the process was really seamless. And so I'd advise, go through the agents, they know what to do really to help you with your application process through to the visa application. And then, yes, I arrived on campus. It was important for me to attend the induction. And so, yes, I attended the induction. There's a lot of resource, from the student advisors to the ambassadors. They help you. There's information everywhere. So, when in doubt, ask questions, ask your Nigerian representative questions and all that. They'll help you. I can speak to the fact that UWL is a career university. So in my academics, I'm barely 2 months here. I can say that I'm fully integrated in my academics. There's every resource to help you. Now, Nick, my course of study is actually MA Strategic Financial Management.
Oh, apologies. Yes. Okay.
Yes, and so I'm ACCA part qualified. So if you're like me, that's a course to consider because there's every resource to help you succeed, in your career. And there's academic resource and then there's skills and all that. There's just a whole lot. You can't go wrong. You can't really go wrong. And so, yes, that's it for me, really. I'm having a good time so far.
I'm pleased to hear it. I'm pleased to hear it. I mean, I think the biggest issue facing like Nigerian students is really the transferring money. You know, that's the issue. I mean,
yes,
your
I had a
situation
friend in the UK,
exactly, yes,
yeah, who made the payment for me, so it wasn't a problem for me.
Yeah, so that's what I would encourage you to do, because it's a real headache, and we've had so many disappointed students who wanted to come who weren't able to come, which is a shame. But
and I forgot to mention, we have a Nigerian society here. So if you find yourself, you know, at UWL, please reach out to the Nigerian society. You can find, you know, get support from them as well.
That's great. In terms of the other Nigerian students that you've met on campus so far, what's been your impression about their experiences? Have you met many of your fellow Nigerians?
I haven't really met many Nigerians, to be honest, but I can say that, okay, so London is pretty diverse and inclusive, and it is replicated on campus as well. Now, I've met only one Nigerian student in my classes, and so far, I really don't know. Nigerians are not really represented in my course of study. That's what I'll say. But I have met up with people in the Nigerian society. That's why, you know, I advise for you to join the Nigerian society. So, exactly. I mean, constant communication with the president, Barbara, and yes, you find support. You hear people's experiences, you know, to help you and all that. So that's it for me.
Yeah, I think one thing I would like to say is, you know, it's not just the course that you're coming to study at university. You know, you're going to learn so many other things. It's all the passive knowledge that you're going to acquire. It's just being in like a different country, a global city, and a very multicultural society that, you know, having been to Nigeria and experienced what life is like there, and coming back and reflecting on what, you know, where I live and what life is like at the university. I think just like the history and the architecture and just the sheer multiculturalism, you're going to come across so many different types of people, and it's just it feels a very global place, and a great platform for you to sort of move on to your future career prospects. So right now, what I'd like to just do is show you another short video. This one here provides a tour of the campus, so you get more of an insight to what it looks like. And then after that, we can pause, and then we can open the floor to questions. So here we go.
It's the University of West London. My name's Nicole, and I'm going to give you a quick tour around the Ealing campus, so you can get a better understanding why people like me love UWL. The Ealing campus is really well connected, and is only 20 minutes from central London. It's also a wonderful, leafy, green community, so you get all the benefits that London has to offer, whilst also enjoying the many open spaces in the area. Here at UWL, we think the support you need in order to succeed is so important, and that's why we make it the first thing you see when you set foot on campus. Here you can access loads of support and advice on things like housing, finance, health, and your own well-being. You might never need help, but it's always good to know that it's there. But our support is not just the when you need help, it's for making the most of your time at university, so you can reach your full potential. Our study support team is here to help you work smarter, not just harder. They offer masterclass workshops, so you can build the skills to excel in your studies. And there's a reason why we're known as the Career University. We support our students in finding paid work and getting relevant work experience. Long before you graduate, our careers team will support you in preparing for the world of work and a rewarding and successful career. This is the Heart Space, the main hub of our Ealing campus. Here you can meet friends, attend events, and bump into people you know. It was created as a part of our £150 million transformation of the campus that has created an inspiring social and learning environment for students. Above me is the library, named after Paul Hamlet, who believed that everyone should be given the support they need in order to reach their full potential. And that sums up what UWL is all about. The library is not just a part of our campus where a wide variety of books and other learning materials. It's also an amazing learning space with access to hundreds of computers. Each floor is set up differently, so you can study in a way that suits you, so you can choose from collaborative study, quiet study, or silent study. The library is open 24 hours, 7 days a week, and the library staff are incredibly knowledgeable and are always there to help you. The main teaching area is located just off the Heart Space. Across the campus, there's a whole variety of lecture theatres, seminar rooms, and specialist facilities to help you gain the skills employees need. Down the corridor, you can find our £250,000 flight simulator. So good, British Airways use it. Upstairs, you can find our new biomedical labs, green screen rooms, and music production suites. In fact, the whole campus is jam-packed full of amazing facilities, like our professional radio studios, mock courtroom, and hospital simulation centre. Whatever you're planning to study, there are facilities to help you build your skills for a future career. At UWL, the students really do come first. The university takes pride in listening and responding to what students have to say. That's why UWL was voted University of the Year for Student Experience. The student union plays a big part in it. They help to create a sense of community, enabling students to socialise both within their course and across the university. With nearly 50 clubs and societies, you're bound to meet people with similar interests as you. And if you're into sports and keeping fit, our brand new on-campus sports centre includes 2 gyms, 2 large fitness studios, and spacious training facilities. Many of our sports teams even have access to professional quality facilities, and our partnership with Premier League club Brentford FC provides an exciting connection to elite level sport. I hope you enjoyed that quick tour of UWL at our Ealing campus. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this tour, is that people at UWL care. They care about you, and they care about doing their best for you. And that makes all the difference. And it's why I love UWL. If you would like to find out.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. So now we can open the floor and maybe take some questions. You're welcome to ask myself or Uju's online. So speak with Uju or Kema Sola, our in-country representative. So over to you. Hi, Gloria.
Okay, hi, Nick. That was a very interactive session. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you have any questions, please drop them at the chat box and Nick will be answering them. Okay, so Nick, we have one here. It says, how does the university handle applicants who apply to an MA program different from their bachelor's degree?
Yeah, so with an MA program, we're looking really for two references, one from your academic reference and an employer reference. But we're more interested at that stage in seeing your CV, seeing what you've been doing with your time since graduating, what work experience you've gained, so that we can see your motivations for doing a master's. Is that master's related to the job that you've been doing, or is it a completely new field? So this is where the support statement is so important with a university application. You've got to really emphasize why you think a particular master's course is going to help you develop skills and experience to get into the field of work that you're looking to get into. So that's the difference, really. Bachelor's degree is a little bit more straightforward to apply for. Generally, there's no study gaps. It's very rare that there's a study gap. Students are generally coming straight after school. So we scrutinize the master's applications a bit more closely, I feel.
Okay, so I know you talk about this, but this person is asking, said I have HND and would love to apply for master's. Nick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I would love to apply for master's in data analytics. What do you advise?
You'd love to apply for a master's in, I didn't miss that last bit.
Data analytics.
In data analysis, yes.
Yes,
So
but the person has a HND, is a HND holder.
Okay, yeah. So first off, having an HND is a bit tricky because we cannot accept you onto a master's program with an HND. It's a little bit of an issue for us. Our admissions team would just reject your application, unfortunately, and it doesn't even matter how much relevant work experience you've got. In order to access a master's program, you must have a bachelor's degree with honors. And ideally a first or second class degree. If you've got a third class degree, it's not the end of the world. We can put you on a pre-master's program. So if you've got an HND, my advice would be to look at alternative ways of topping that up to a degree. You could either do that in Nigeria, or you could work with perhaps some of the pathway providers who might accept you onto a program where you can top up to get a degree. But unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to accept you. If you want to do data analytics as well, it's really good to have work experience in that field. A computer background as well really helps with some related qualifications. So I'm really sorry, Jay, but HND to masters isn't possible with us. There are some other UK universities that might accept you. So have a conversation with SI UK, and they might be able to come up with alternatives for you.
Okay, someone's asking if they need an IELTS to apply. So.
No, you don't. You're welcome to do an IELTS, but provided you've got the WIEC certificate from school and you've got a C6 in your WIEC, then we would accept that. The UK government accepts that as well as evidence of your English language ability. What we do need, though, is the scratch card. So we need to verify your certificate. So the certificate alone is not just what we check. We actually go on the WIEC website and we'll use the scratch card PIN number to check. The same with other qualifications. Any qualification that we receive for an application, we cross-reference it with the NARIC system to check the validity and the equivalency in the UK system.
Okay. To add, sorry, Gloria. To add to that, we also accept NECO. We accept NECO. You have to have C4 in NECO. So if you don't have WIEC, you should at least have NECO. Then we accept C4.
C4 at NECO, yes, thank you. Thanks, Kemi.
You need to send the token PIN. Why you send a WIEC scratch card, you can send token PIN for WIEC, for NECO.
Yeah.
So that we can use to verify your result.
All right, so this one is asking, I don't know if he wants to go through this again, but the person wants to know the basic requirements for masters and undergraduate degree and the academic requirements.
Yeah, so the academic requirements for degree programs are the equivalency of A-level BBC. So what would that be, Kemi, for the GPA? Do you want to comment on that? Is it 2.4?
Hello, sorry, what?
Yeah, the academic requirements for undergraduate and postgraduate. Do you want to just talk about that, Kemisola?
Okay, for postgraduate, you need to have 2122.
And for undergraduate?
So for undergraduate, you need your WIEC and NECO, or what is it called?
Yeah, so it really depends on the course, but like we look at some courses have slightly different entry requirements, but by and large, it's the equivalent of A levels. Like BBC is what's generally accepted for undergraduate. So the WIEC or NECO, as we previously discussed. With master's programs, generally it's we need an undergraduate degree with honors in first and second class. On some courses, there may be some additional requirement. It could be a portfolio that you have to submit if it's a creative arts subject, or it could be a common one is having a background, demonstrating a background in computing is really essential. If you want to do like a master's program in psychology related subjects, sometimes there is a requirement to gain membership of the British Psychological Society, so you have to apply to them and gain membership. So there are some other conditions to consider, but the majority of courses is pretty straightforward.
Okay, Nick. This person said thank you. I had my first degree on educational management and economics, second class lower, then HND and OND, purchasing and supply, upper credit and lower credit respectively. But right now, I wish to study BSc adult nursing. I want to know how possible it is to switch over.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as I'm aware, as long as you've got a degree, the degree should ideally be in sort of a science or health related subject, but there are some flexibilities around it. So we would look at your education management degree, no problem. But what we'd more be interested in seeing is your work experience within nursing and healthcare. So we'd look at your CV, Ibebi, and we want to see that you've got sufficient relevant experience. Doing the MSc in nursing is a really intensive program over 2 years, and there are lots of other conditions that you have to meet. You have to do a DBS background check, which has to be done in Nigeria, and that can take like three months to come through. And you have to do it in person in Lagos as well at the police station. And so there's lots of factors to consider. So I would encourage you to contact me privately. I've left my contact details in the chat, and I can talk you through privately about the entry requirements for the nursing, because it's a new program. It's quite specialized, and would be very encouraged to do like an informal interview with you to see if you meet the entry requirements. Okay.
Thank you so much, Nick, for that. I think it's Mary that said thank you. I am a registered nurse with RN certificate. I want to apply for BNSE top-up program. Is it possible?
Yeah, some top-up programs are possible, particularly in business subjects, in accountancy, finance and accountancy, and also in the culinary arts field. Some subjects it's just not possible. So what we have to look at your transcript, see what you've done so far, and see if that marries up with what we're offering on the degree program. But we do accept students into year 2 of an undergraduate program, or sometimes into the final year. It really depends on what subject area is and what they've studied. So we look at it on a case-by-case basis. There are no sort of clear rules on that. So my advice is apply, and please contact me directly again, and we can discuss it with the relevant course leader.
Okay, so thank you so much, Nick. That should be all.
Okay.
If you have more questions and you need to get more information, you can send us a message. You can send a message to us at SIUK. And thank you so much, Nick, for today.
My pleasure. Yes. Thank you all. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.